Darren Holt's neighborhood had always been quiet, a place where nothing had ever, say, erupted on his front lawn. So when a pillar of silver blue light carved down from the heavens and deposited a hovering imperial skiff before his house, his first thought was a frantic list. Police, fire department, NASA, his mother. Before he could decide, the skiff's hatch unfolded with ceremonial slowness, releasing a gust that smelled of star-forged metal and flowers utterly alien to Earth. Then she emerged, Queen Sarintha of the Oroville Dominion, sovereign of 8 star systems, beloved by billions, feared by slightly more. Her skin held the gleam of pale starlight. Her long black hair moved as if choreographed by solar winds. Her elegantly elongated ears, decidedly not human, tilted toward him with regal precision. Darren stood frozen in his doorway, clutching his coffee mug like a lifeline. He managed. Eloquence had fled, leaving panic as his primary language. Human Darren Holt, the Queen announced, as if presenting a prize he had no memory of entering. You will shelter my daughters until I return from the Galactic Summit. Darren blinked. You're... what? 2 figures appeared behind her, Princess Alira and Princess Valine, draped in soft travel robes that shimmered like heat haze, each bearing their mother's otherworldly beauty. They observed him like a fascinating, possibly volatile, puzzle. Alira offered a polite, reserved nod. Valine waved cheerfully, nearly fumbling a small crystalline device that hiccuped like a robotic frog. Darren stumbled back, nearly tripping over his welcome mat. Your Majesty, with all due respect. And I mean all due respect, why me? Queen Sarintha lifted her chin. The oracular seed path named you a fated guardian. Also, she added, gesturing dismissively toward his house, your dwelling appears sufficiently structured. Darren glanced inside at the perpetual laundry on the sofa and the mysterious sticky patch near the fridge. If this was sufficiently structured, the galaxy was in trouble. Before he could protest further, the Queen concluded with finality. When I return, I expect grandchildren. Darren choked on air. Alira and Valine exchanged a glance. This was news to them, too. Not unwelcome, just surprising. Mother, Valine murmured. That is traditionally symbolic. Symbolic or not, said the Queen, the ancient rite has been invoked. She pressed a glowing seal onto the air. It shimmered into a floating sigil that hovered above Darren's head like a halo assigned by dubious judgment. He swatted at it. It bobbed cheerfully away. Wait, grandchildren? How long is this summit? A millennium? 4 days, said the Queen. 4. Darren's mind short-circuited. That's not how biology works. Or interbiology. Or anything. Complaints noted, Queen Sarintha said, which was a lie. She had noted nothing. She placed her hands on her daughter's shoulders, and for a moment, the cosmic ruler softened into a mother seeing her children off. Then her expression hardened. Daughters, behave, adapt, do not break anything essential. Valine raised a hand. Define essential. Anything that screams when damaged, the Queen answered briskly. Darren pinched the bridge of his nose. Your Majesty, please, I'm a scientist. A regular one. My greatest achievement this year was fixing my leaky coffee machine. The Queen placed a hand over her heart. Then may you mend the destiny of my lineage with equal determination. That is not a transferable skill. But she was already floating back to her skiff. Guard them well, human Darren Holt, she called as the hatch sealed, and prepare your household for expansion. The skiff rose with a hum of interdimensional grace, then shot skyward in a light streak that rattled Darren's windows and possibly his sanity. He stood frozen until Valine bounded past him into the house. Ooh, gravity feels so bouncy here. Alira entered more cautiously, examining his doorknob as if it were a primitive artifact. Your architecture is compact. That's one word for it, Darren muttered. They circled his living room with anthropological curiosity. Alira peered at the television remote. Is this a weapon? No. Valine pressed a button. The TV blared static. She gasped. It is a weapon! No. Well, kind of. It depends on the volume. Darren dropped into an armchair, head in his hands, trying to process it all. 2 alien princesses in his home by royal decree, with expectations defying biology, physics, and ethics. And somewhere out there, Queen Sarintha believed her lineage was in responsible hands. Alira and Valine sat across from him, ears tilted with interest. So, Valine said brightly, what do humans do for mating rituals? Darren stared at her, then at the ceiling, then back. He said slowly, I'm going to need stronger coffee. Darren Holt had survived meteor showers, malfunctioning plasma drills, and a conference where a senior researcher hugged him for 40 minutes straight. Yet nothing prepared him for Princess Alira attempting breakfast. The kitchen resembled a rebellion. The toaster smoked. The blender glowed ominously. Something inside the microwave tapped politely, as if seeking diplomatic talks. Alira stood amid the chaos, holding a whisk like a ceremonial staff. Human culinary rituals are more perilous than anticipated. What did you put in the microwave? I followed your food storage protocol. You microwaved an egg? Whole in its shell? It seemed efficient. A soft pop came from the microwave. We're leaving it closed, Darren decided. Whatever's evolving in there, let it finish. Across the kitchen, Valine cheerfully dismantled his coffee machine. Your device is inefficient. I will improve it. Please define improve. More pressure, more heat, more coffee. That sounds like a bomb. Valine shrugged. A caffeinated bomb. Darren sighed. New rule. No touching appliances unless I am present and emotionally prepared. Both princesses nodded. One solemn, one enthusiastic. Neither inspired confidence. To salvage the morning, Darren suggested a walk. Sunshine, grass, air. Nothing prone to spontaneous explosion. They stepped outside. Alira crouched, touching the lawn. It is soft, like a submissive planetary carpet. That's one way to describe it. Valine spun, inhaling dramatically. The air smells like wet oxygen. That's humidity. Humans live in constant atmospheric soup. Incredible. Peace lasted 20 seconds. A small drone descended, a diplomatic monitor from the Oroville court. It projected the royal sigil before Darren's face. Observation in progress. Great, an audience. Valine squinted. This model records everything. Everything, even smells. The drone beeped, sounding suspiciously judgmental. Darren waved it away. I'm not doing anything wrong. It beeped again. Debatable. Alira straightened. We should demonstrate your suitability. A formal record may ease the court's concerns. The court already thinks I'm an underqualified human with a questionable coffee habit. True, said Alira, but we can show you are emotionally stable. Emotionally stable? I just negotiated with a microwave egg. Valine brightened. We can record a demonstration of nurturing potential. Something gentle. Perhaps you could hold a small earth creature. No, the last time I held a squirrel, it hated me personally. Here, kitty kitty, Valine called toward the bushes. That's worse, Darren whispered. Alira stepped forward. I will volunteer as the creature. That sentence concerns me. Observe. She knelt gracefully, tilting her head, folding her ears down, and clasping her hands. I am small and innocent. Valine clapped. Soft. Perfect. Hold her. Darren crouched, awkwardly placing his arms around Alira's shoulders. The drone zoomed in intently. Alira nodded. You see, he is gentle. Yes, Valine mused, even when confused. I'm always confused, Darren muttered. The drone beeped in satisfaction and drifted away. Alira stood, brushing grass from her knees. This should help your case. Great. I was worried the egg incident undermined my seriousness. Impossible, Alira said earnestly. You are very serious. Your face is full of stress lines. Thank you, Darren said flatly. Valine beamed. We are making excellent progress. Darren looked at them, one radiantly calm, one bubbling with chaotic enthusiasm, and wondered, not for the first time, how Queen Sarintha had chosen him. But as Alira adjusted her sleeves and Valine held up the half-exploded coffee machine like a trophy, both smiling at him with hopeful curiosity, he felt something shift. Not destiny, not prophecy, just a faint, bewildering urge to try. Darren never expected to wake on a starship again, especially one shaped like a shimmering crescent that hummed as if singing to itself. Yet here he was, buckled into a seat that adjusted to his spine like a judgmental chiropractor, while Alira and Valine debated navigation crystal calibration. Valine seized the control rod. I call stellar alignment rights. Alira lifted an eyebrow. You crashed us into a debris field last time. It was only a small debris field. It was a moon. Darren gripped his harness. Why am I here? I said no, absolutely not. I mentioned paperwork and crime. You were overruled, Alira said calmly. By whom? Valine grinned. Interstellar custom. And also us. He had been, politely, kidnapped. Urgent cultural transport, they called it. Princess speak for get in the ship. Human. Destiny awaits. The ship shuddered into slipstream. Stars blurred into brilliant streaks. Is it supposed to do that? Yes, said Alira. The engines are synchronized. A ceiling panel popped open, sprinkling glittering dust onto Darren's head. Valine tilted her head. That, however, was not supposed to happen. Darren spat out a sparkling speck. What is this? Radiation? Alien dandruff? Celebration powder, Alira explained. It activates for journeys of ritual significance. So it's confetti? Interdimensional confetti, Valine corrected. Much more festive. Darren slumped. Fantastic. Even the glitter is sentient. The ship glided on, the hum deepening into something musical. Alira sat beside him. You worry. I'm traveling to a palace full of alien nobles who think I'm an unqualified suitor with questionable bone density. Your bone density is adequate. That doesn't help. It was meant to. Valine dropped into the seat on his other side. The trials are mostly symbolic. Mostly. Some involve actual danger, but nothing extremely lethal. Nothing extremely. Valine, that's not reassuring. She patted his shoulder. We will guide you. You will not shatter. I appreciate the confidence in my structural integrity. A melodic chime, a triumphant trumpet, announced arrival. The slipstream dissolved, revealing the Oroville homeworld, a lavender sphere veined with glowing crystalline rivers. Darren's mouth fell open. Alira smiled faintly. It is beautiful. It's illegal to be that pretty, Darren whispered. Towering ivory spires rose like frozen waves. Floating platforms bore suspended gardens. The ship landed on a petal-shaped dock. The hatch opened. A group of dignitaries in shimmering robes waited, their adorned ears tilted, staring at Darren as if he were an insect who'd won a scholarship. Alira and Valine bowed. Darren followed, trying not to trip over his anxiety. An elder peered at him through narrow silver eyes. This is the human? Hello. Yes, the, designated person. The elder hummed thoughtfully. He looked soft. Valine stepped forward. He is soft emotionally. Physically, somewhat soft. That is not helping, Darren whispered. The elder clasped his hands. The trials begin soon. Prepare him. Trials. My favorite. Alira guided him down a crystalline corridor glowing with shifting light. The trials assess suitability, emotional resilience, adaptability, social harmony, instinct calibration. Instinct calibration. Am I a modem? Sometimes, Valine mused, humans behave like low-bandwidth creatures. I take it back. I want to go home. They entered a circular room with floating crystals and a single glowing pedestal. A holographic figure flickered to life. Serene, warm smiling. Welcome, participant. Your first task? Demonstrate awareness. Awareness of what? Awareness, it repeated, as if that clarified everything. Crystals spun, projecting illusions, swirling shapes, shifting colors. Darren steadied himself, focused, and gradually the illusions aligned into a pattern, a path of light threading through the room. He stepped toward it. The hologram chimed. Awareness achieved. Alira's expression softened with pride. Valine bounced happily. Darren exhaled. That was it, for now, said Alira. The hologram brightened. Next assessment. Compatibility. Valine grinned. This one might involve hugging. Darren groaned. He was so unbelievably doomed. Life with two royal alien princesses, Darren had learned, was less a series of events and more an immersive simulation with unpredictable hazards. Now, in the grand audience hall of the Oroville Palace, the culmination of trials, confetti explosions, and emotional labyrinths was at hand. Queen Sarintha had returned, her hair flowing like ink across starlight, her skin luminous, her eyes piercing. The council of elders murmured in robes like crystallized nebulae. The air crackled. Alira and Valine flanked Darren, calm and confident, no longer the novices anxious by his coffee machine. The queen's gaze softened at her daughters, then fixed on him. Darren Holt, she said, her voice like rolling planets. You have navigated trials, survived interdimensional etiquette, and shown patience that would unseat most nobles. Speak, Darren exhaled. He looked at the court, the floating gardens, the light that curved as if watching, and realized he had changed. He was no longer the flustered human stumbling into destiny. He had learned resilience, empathy, and the courage to face chaos with humor. I've learned, he began, voice only slightly unsteady, that running away doesn't solve problems. Even if the problem is a ritual prophecy, two princesses, and a mother who expects grandchildren. I've learned the right answer isn't always planned, but acted on with sincerity. He glanced at Alira and Valine. And I've learned cooperation is less about control and more about listening, even when one party has a confetti cannon or believes the toaster is sentient. Valine clapped softly. Alira gave a serene nod. The elders murmured with interest. Darren continued, I can't promise to fulfill ancient fertility rites or cosmic destinies beyond my grasp. But I can promise to honor your daughter's autonomy, protect them, and help navigate whatever comes next. Queen Sarintha studied him. Silence hung like starlit fog. Then she tilted her head, ears flicking, a ghost of a smile softening her command. You speak with honesty, humility, and a touch of absurdity, qualities not always found in those who bear prophecy. Perhaps this human is not unfit. Alira stepped forward. Mother, I have witnessed him adapt, persist, and care. He has learned more than many nobles learned in a lifetime. Valine added, and he makes terrible coffee, but in an endearing way. The council chuckled, elders shaking with amusement. Darren allowed a small, proud grin. Queen Sarintha gestured to holographic maps floating in the hall. Let it be known the guardian of lineage has proven capable, not by tradition alone, but through action, integrity, and unexpected levity. The trials are concluded. A weight lifted from Darren's shoulders. He glanced at Alira and Valine. They smiled, ears brushing their shoulders, radiant and calm. And now? He asked. Now, said Alira, we shape the future on our terms. Valine twirled. No one dies, no one explodes, and no appliances are harmed unless strictly necessary. Darren laughed, fully, unguardedly, for the first time in weeks. It felt extraordinary. The Queen observed quietly, perhaps noting that humans possessed resilience and humor in a balance Orville scholars seldom predicted. Perhaps, she said finally, this journey has shown that traditions can evolve, that authority is strongest when tempered with understanding, and that lineage is not merely decrees, but relationships built on trust. She stepped back, leaving Darren, Alira, and Valine at the center. Darren, surprisingly calm, realized he had grown in unforeseen ways. Where he had panicked at alien customs, he now found patience. Where he feared the unknown, he now held curiosity. And where he had doubted his place in the cosmos, he now glimpsed a fragile, improbable home among stars, with two extraordinary companions beside him. Valine leaned in, whispering, I think you might actually survive being human here. I hope so, Darren replied. But if I explode in a confetti storm, it'll be spectacular. Alira smiled, serene and approving. We will survive together, perhaps even thrive. Queen Sarintha nodded once, ears flicking in satisfaction. Let it be known across the Dominion that the Guardian has found his place, and our daughters are free to shape their destinies. The future begins, co-created, unforeseen, and entirely remarkable. Darren glanced around, the palace, the floating gardens, the amused council. He felt a quiet, radiant certainty. Whatever came next, he would face it not as a human alone, but as a guardian, a companion, and, somehow, a friend to two princesses who had changed the universe he thought he knew. For the first time, Darren Holt laughed without reservation, and it echoed through the palace like a ripple of improbable starlight, signaling not an end, but a beginning. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. Write which moment in the story impressed you the most. Support me by liking or subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can change it at any time. See you in the next story.